okay, I'm dead. Hey guys, I'm making this video because I would like to spread more awareness on Noonan syndrome. So I guess you could call it Noonan syndrome and how it affects my life, and Noonan syndrome and microscience. So when my son was 6 months old, well, let's not even start there. When Chrisiah was born, they kept him from me for 2 days and I didn't know what was going on. Miscarriages before I had him, so I thought he actually died. So I started crying and they didn't want me to bleed out or anything, so they actually brought him to me. So yeah, that's how that started. And when they brought him to me, they explained that something was wrong, but they didn't know what it was. But he was alive, guys, and I was happy. I was content with that, not knowing what would come for the future. But so they set up some appointments, and after we got discharged, we were back and forth, and then sorry, I kind of not like talking about this too much, but anyway, they set up some appointments and I went to all of them, and at 6 months old he was clinically diagnosed with Noonan syndrome. So I'll insert some pictures of kids that were born with Noonan syndrome, and then you could get an idea of some of the stuff I went through with Chrisiah. He's somewhere in the background doing weird stuff. I'm not gonna ignore him, but I'm gonna block him out just for a little bit. And what's this light? It's from the window. So I'm gonna have to just a little bit. There it is. Okay, so basically since he's been born, I've been back and forth at the doctors, all kind of specialists, because you know they found out that he had a heart murmur, and you know when you find out a child has a heart murmur, there's so many tests that needs to be done to find out if the heart murmur is benign or if it's gonna cause any kind of complication in the child's life. In Chrisiah's case, because he got clinically diagnosed with Noonan syndrome, of course they're gonna do extra testing. So I found out that he had pulmonic valve stenosis. It's a heart condition where it's like the blood is supposed to be like flowing out of the heart, but instead of flowing out, it's kind of like squirts out like shh, shh, shh. So anyway, that can't be good, because you know oh god, I thought it would have been easy to talk about this, but the older he gets, I feel like I'll be more able to talk about what's going on with him, but it's never easy. So guys, just bear with me. So where was I? Yeah, he has pulmonic valve stenosis. Then he started getting sick, so I was at the hospital a lot. Sometimes we spent 2 nights, sometimes we spent a week, sometimes 2 weeks, and it got so overwhelming, and it destroyed my first marriage. But I have no regrets. We do get along right now for the sake of Chrisiah. And that's not why I'm here to talk on this video. I'm here to spread awareness about Noonan syndrome and how it affects my son. So let me try to keep on course. So basically, Chrisiah had to go to he had to go to a few clinics. So he had to go to renal because his kidneys were undersized, and he was born with like undescended testicle. That's some of the stuff that happened when. So basically, when a child has Noonan syndrome, there's a bunch of things that happen to them. They have problems with their organs like the heart, the kidney, and other organs inside that I probably won't discuss. I won't discuss it because they don't affect Chrisaya. The ones that don't affect Chrisaya I won't be discussing. And they're born with also facial anomalies like low set ears, slanted eyes, open fontanelle. Most of the time you see open fontanelle with kids with Down syndrome, but kids with Noonan syndrome, which is like the female version Turner syndrome, are also sometimes born with a wide open fontanelle. They also have like a flat nose bridge, which causes an epicanthal fold right by the eye. So sometimes they don't see properly out of one eye, as in Chrysia's case, the left eye. And what else? They have a lot of sleep issues. You could call it sleep apnea, where they stop breathing in their sleep. And I used to be so scared. I used to be up late at night just watching him sleep because I was scared that he would die in his sleep. But thank God my baby's still here. But anyway, sorry guys. Anyways, that's just a little rundown of stuff that happened to kids with Noonan syndrome. But what a lot of people don't explain to you is the child might just get sick for any reason. Somebody could cough right next to them and they pick it up and it blows up into a, what do you call it, a, upper respiratory infection, which is like a bad cold. And my son used to have pneumonia. Like every 3 months he would have pneumonia, and I just couldn't understand it. He wouldn't eat when he was 1 month. I remember when he was 1 year old, he was drinking 2 ounces like every 4 hours. 2 ounces of milk. Guys, he couldn't even. Then he had low muscle tone throughout his extremities, so he had to have PTOT, and he also had speech and feeding therapy come to the house until he was 3 years old. Now that basically means I have a child with special needs. Because I have a child with special needs, it takes time away out of my life for studying, going to school to better myself. I have no regrets having my son. Let me just put that on the table. But it did take a lot of time out of me. But I did go back and finish and get my bachelor's degree. So yeah, for me, that's an obstacle that I overcame throughout, dealing with my son Chrisia. So that's just a rundown of some of the stuff that I've been dealing with. So basically, he's been sick for the last like 2 weeks. And I found out that he has to go to surgery for his ears because I took him to Jamaica and he wanted to go to the beach so bad. And even though I have this thing that I cover his ears, it didn't work so good. I need to review that item. And the water got into his ears, and I've been nursing his ear infection for over a month. You imagine having an ear infection with a popping sound and fluids draining out of your ear for over a month? I could only imagine the pain my son is in, and I tried everything to alleviate that pain, but I only could do so much. But anyway, they're going to try to fix it. They had put some tube in when he was one of them didn't fall out of the right ear, so they're gonna take it out and put a mesh in it to close the hole because it's too big. And anyway, in order to do that, I had to get clearance from the cardiologist. I needed clearance from the asthma clinic. I needed clearance from dental. Yes, dental. I need clearance for dental before you could have anesthesia. Yeah. So that's what we've been dealing with so far. So I mean, things could have been worse. I just thank God that I'm here. I'm able to tell my story, and hopefully, my story and my son's could be used to inspire somebody else, and to know that you're not alone. There are other people out here. Noonan syndrome can be life-changing. It can make you confused. It can make you feel like you want to give up. But just seeing my angel's face made me want to work harder for him, made me want to not give up, made me want to beat the odds when he's beating the odds. He walked when they said he couldn't walk, so now I can walk with him. He talked when they say he might not talk and he had to learn sign language, so I could talk with him. Noonan syndrome did change our life, but it didn't stop us from doing anything. Didn't stop me from getting whatever my future desired. I love my son. I've seen him become a big brother, a loving son, a beautiful, wonderful person. I've seen him beat the odds. I've seen him fighting for what just to be here, and it makes me want to fight harder for him. Just don't give up. If you're going through something, please get help, because there's always someone going through it too who you can talk to. I've seen my son beat the odds, but most of all, I see my son. I see my Josiah, and I love him. Bye, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below, and I'll be sure to answer back.